No. Hey y'all.
Hey.
I messed this up. I said let's talk Queen Sway. It's let's talk Queen Sugar. I did have Queen Sugar recap in there. My bad. But welcome. Gonna wait for a couple people to show up. First, hey season, how you doing?
Good.
And Ashley, you gonna be on Frozen Elsa time today?
Oh wait, am I still frozen again?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, I was about to say because I upped my internet for this. It better
Yeah.
work.
Right. Hey MD Terp. So we are wearing pink for Darla's baby. Even though there was no pink nowhere to be found in that baby shower, I was like, okay, how do you go to a baby girl's baby shower with all blue, like royal blue on? Like nobody was in formation with this doggone baby shower situation. But we are in formation because it's fun to wear pink for baby girls. Hey, Aunt Cookie. But I have to say, before we get anywhere, this was a perfect episode for me. Okay, Asha, you agree?
Yeah, this was a very good episode. It was so much love. I loved it.
Yeah, it really, like, I'm not even going to go into it before I let Season speak. Season, your thoughts on this episode overall?
Oh, it was cute. It was nice and mushy and exactly what Darla deserved. The whole thing. She needed her uplifting moment in time.
Yeah, she did. Season, I say this every week. Season, you're pregnant. I had a
Those in the
pandemic
past.
baby. I chose not to do a baby shower. Obviously, it wasn't going to be in person. I didn't even do a Zoom one because I was like, we're all fucking sick of Zooms. Zoom
Mhm.
baby showers. Everybody's like, it's awkward. So I always thought like every time I've thrown a baby shower, I'm always like throwing baby showers. It's always like a party. It's like lit. I like it to be fun. So for me, not being able to have like a lit baby shower was like, why bother? So I was feeling a little sentimental, not because I wish I had a baby shower, but just because I think baby showers are cute. And I was really happy that this episode was mostly about Darla. So we have a lot to get into. First, let's start off with the very beginning. The show opens up at the farm. There are boxes everywhere. And Darla and Ralph Angel were sleeping on the floor. I thought it was very sweet
Mhm.
for Ralph Angel to be sleeping on the floor in solidarity with Darla. But there was a little part of me that was cringing because you're not supposed to sleep on your back when you are that far pregnant. You're supposed to sleep on your side. But that's being technical. Maybe she was just, resting her back or something like that. But I was so hardcore about sleeping on my stomach, even though sometimes, yeah, being on your back makes you feel better. Season, did that trigger you at all, or are you a person who'd be like, fuck all them rules? I'll sleep on my back if I need to.
Fuck all them rules.
Okay, so
Because it's hard for me. Well, I wake up so much throughout the night that I don't really keep track of that. I mean, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm a side
I haven't
sleeper.
been comfortable for a while, so
Yeah. Hey, Vernell.
if I can get in a couple hours on my back, I'm going for it.
I hear you. I hear you. Like I was a more by the book kind of person, so I was just like, "Oh, what are you doing on your back?" But it was sad for me to see the house packed up.
Mhm.
I will say though, throughout the episode, there was still like there's not a huge sense that it's like sunk in, like this is it. There's still always that like, well, if we have to move or if we lose the farm. Do you think at this point, I mean, there's things that happened in the episode that made it seem like there's still hope, but were you expecting a little bit more kind of acceptance of the fact that like this shit is happening? Season, I'll start off with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They definitely have this, and maybe that's more for the viewers, have it lingering over like, well, something, the ancestors still might step in and bloop, bloop, bloop. But I mean, me personally, I get a 45-day notice, I'm gone in 30. I'm not trying to drag shit out and, wait for nobody to show up and save me. I'd rather move back in than be scrambling at the last minute.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
yeah, so Ain't nothing wrong with keeping hope, though. I mean,
Keep hope alive. Who said
hope
that? Was that
alive.
Jesse Jackson that said that? Reverend Jackson?
I don't know.
I feel like it was Reverend Jackson that said, Jesse Jackson that said, keep hope alive.
Oh.
I'm going to do something I never do. I always try to go in order, but for the sake of this discussion, and, you know, making arrangements, you know, Darla presented last week the whole apartment idea. Ralph Angel was resistant to that. But going fast forwarding to the end of the episode, I thought it was really sweet how, hey Shakira, how Aunt Vi and Charlie very delicately approached Darla to offer up their places for them to stay. And Ralph Angel was surprisingly receptive to that, to either one of those things. So just to talk about just the fact that, Ashley, what was your reaction to the offer and how it was presented from Charlie and from Aunt Vi?
I think it was done in a very gentle and loving way.
Mm-hmm.
It was exactly what you would expect, you know, an offer to be. It was perfection. I think the writers did a great job with the dialect. They made sure Aunt Vi made it very clear that I know my boundaries. I know what you guys are looking for. I can provide, you know, she threw in, I'll cook for you, I clean, you
That's
know,
nice.
and honestly, I feel like that's what I hear most moms say they want. They just need help.
Hell yeah.
You know, so I could definitely see that being just a really good segue for her to be comfortable with moving back in, because Vi is definitely, I'm so glad that she's done being an angry Black auntie and all that trash she was going through. She really, like, it's full circle for her at this point. So I loved it. I think it was great. Charlie offering up her house seems very appropriate. You're not going to be here. This is an opportunity for them, even though Ralph Angel royally fucked up by losing the place because of his actions. I'm glad that there's a level of redemption that's being given and forgiveness that's being given through them offering a place. So yeah, I think it was great. It was awesome. It was
yeah,
great.
MD Terp says so proud of Darla. Season, what was your reaction? I mean, I think, like, you know how it is where you want to help somebody out, but you don't want to offend somebody and make them feel like, you trying to say I don't got it. You know what I'm saying? People can get real rah when you just trying to help. But I thought they handled it in a brilliant way. Season, what was your reaction to that?
I mean, they know Darla and they know how to approach her and talk to her. So it was just right on brand with their relationship. And obviously, it's something they need, because clearly these niggas will sit over there and suffer in silence while Ralph Angel figures some shit out. And, you know, so it's nice that they were proactive instead of waiting until the last minute. So, you know, and of course, the way they said it, I mean, that's the way you should approach anybody, not just someone you know needs help. It's like, hey, you know, I'm here for you guys. I got the room. I got food. I'll watch your baby. So, and Ralph Angel was kind of like, you know, he was. I was happy he was receptive to it, because he fight everybody every which way down the road. So
wrong every time.
Every time he be wrong. So
I know. And that's been one of my biggest frustrations. Is like, you guys have all these resources at your fingertips. You have people who are well off, you know, certainly much more well off than the average small town person. I'm not trying to be elitist, but I'm just saying, let's just be honest. Like, I mean, Charlie's rich. Hollywood has a massive amount of money. I mean, Aunt Vi is a successful entrepreneur. So these are people that are above average, you know, means. And Ralph Angel has been very, you know, resistant to that. But to your point, Season, it was interesting when Ralph Angel said, I was wondering if they were going to say anything, you know, or if it was just too much to take on. And it's like, well, it's not about it being too much. It's about you haven't necessarily, you know, asked for help until it was like too crazy. So I'm glad they took the initiative. I think it's one of those things where, you know, you might risk offending somebody, but out of the, like, you know, you have to be like, the way that I feel about you and the way I care about you, I would be remiss if I didn't at least extend the offer. So I thought it was wonderful. It was very smart to me, though, that, you know, Darla really kind of led the way in terms of saying, like, Charlie has a big, beautiful house, you know, and they would have a lot more privacy with the two of them and the baby with her being gone. But we know Charlie ain't probably not, she didn't have the nannies and she wasn't rich when she had Micah, but Charlie is about to be doing her own thing. So I thought it was really smart for Darla to really be forward thinking and think about, like, well, number one, I'm going to need the emotional support. I'm going to need the physical support. And really kind of, you know, knowing that maybe Ralph Angel wouldn't necessarily be the most comfortable there, but also kind of, you know, being frank about how she would like to help and, you know, her past issues that where she would feel more confident if she had, you know, somebody there who loves their baby unconditionally. So I was really happy to see Ralph Angel come down a little bit, down to earth, and really prioritize Darla for a change. Shakira says, I really loved how Aunt Vi and Charlie approached Darla. They weren't being too pushy. They did it just right. Ashley, what was your reaction to Ralph Angel finally getting it through his thick skull of, like, Darla and the baby needs to be a priority, not my ego? Ashley's a little frozen right now. Okay, you're back. Frozen. Okay. We're going to bring it back. Let's see. Okay, you're back.
Oh,
Ashley.
yay. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I think they set the tone with the first scene, showing that Darla is doing what she needs to do for this baby. Ralph Angel is on board because he said, you know, I'm here for you. I'm here for my two girls. You know, he really like following her lead. So I think with his reaction was absolutely perfect. I was kind of shocked that he said that he was wondering when they were going to offer. Like, me feel like, you know, that you have these resources and they're constantly offering and you just waiting to sit back and say no or just be stubborn. But now finally you realize you don't make good decisions, bro. You need to be listening to Darla. Like, you need to definitely be listening to Darla. So I think this whole episode showed he really is coming along, like with the farmers and stuff. Yeah, Darla is. She's become a leader.
Yeah, I think we saw over the past couple of episodes, Ralph Angel really step up and mature in terms of taking accountability, in terms of trying to make amends with people. And in this episode, we really saw him step into, like, I'm about to be a father of two, and it's time for me to own that and do everything I can to be the best father. I loved his conversation with Blue. Blue's back, by the way, which I think he's so adorable. Caesar is not feeling Blue. She's like, I don't care.
Annoying.
I love Blue though. I love, you know, honestly, there aren't a lot of shows that even have kids on them anymore. And to have a young Black kid who's very articulate, very smart, emotionally secure, like emotionally supportive of both of his parents. Yeah, intelligent. He was very, I mean, he's been a rock for his parents. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing about his character. And I mean, I can't think of any other show that's not a sitcom where the kids are there for comedic relief. I'm talking about a drama that actually shows.
He's annoying.
I don't think he is. What's annoying about him? He's cute.
I don't know, like the scene with him asking about, like, what's going on with the boxes. It was just like, for me, it was the chemistry. The chemistry hasn't been there for me with him and Ralph Angel for some reason. He's just been weird. Like, I don't know. That kid is annoying. I could have absolutely done without him at the end of the scene talking about, I got more clips to take and we got cake. I could have done without that. I didn't have to see him again after the farm.
Okay, Season, you're going to probably agree with Ashley, but I'm going to go ahead and let you say your piece.
Yeah, I mean, I am pregnant.
You guys in the comments, you chime in. If you're with them, sorry. Go ahead,
Season. My second baby, but I just don't like his. Ooh, they just be talking and they be asking all these questions, and then they be telling stories and look at me, and it's just I'm getting there. I'm getting used to it. My baby, he 3, he be talking my ear out, and I'll be like, Okay, let me get you a sister on up in here, cause damn.
Okay, so I'm in the
But
minority here.
he's a sweetheart. He really is. He's a sweetheart. He's
Yeah,
smart
he's smart.
and
He's brilliant. He's all
great
of that.
kid.
He
Awesome kid.
also is annoying though.
Well, I find him incredibly charming. I love kids. I love their imaginations. And I think that Blue is just a spectacular kid. And I especially love, like I said, that in terms of black kids, there are any other ones that I can think of. Maybe on the comments can think of a show that has black kids on it. That's not a comedy, not a
black
sitcom.
drama.
A black drama, like that's a child that speaks, that has some kind of plot to it. But I love that Blue's thriving. I thought that he was the only one who was actually in the baby shower spirit. I mean, come on, it was supposed to be a baby shower, and he was playing the paper that clips the what is it called, the clothespins. That game gets intense because I know when you lose, you be pissed off.
You be pissed, and don't let you have a grip of them and you lose them. I've
never been accomplished at that. I think after a while I just stopped even playing. I'm like, because I hate to lose, so I'm like, don't even know, just forget about it. I'm out. Or the baby, whatever, safety pin, clothespins. But I thought it was cute. He was in the spirit. But the whole going back to the conversation that Ralph Angel had with Blue, what I really liked is that Ralph Angel was transparent. He wasn't like I was out there robbing and stealing motherfuckers. He wasn't blunt about it. He was still kind of delicate about it. But I liked that he took accountability and he wasn't like, oh, woe is me. I'm a black man. I'm a victim of circumstances and da da da. It was more so of like, I messed up. I did some things. I have to pay the consequences. And unfortunately, we might not have the line anymore. And I love that he took accountability in that step. And I feel like if you're going to mess up, take accountability, and your children, they can learn something from that. So Season, what was your thoughts about just at least Ralph Angel being very transparent in that moment with Blue?
I thought that was a good thing. I mean, obviously he noticed, he asked, he's smart enough to, understand what's going on. So go ahead and tell him. I mean, that's what a lot of kids can benefit from, transparency from their parents.
Right.
So I thought it was actually a very smart move on his behalf to just go and get it out the way, and and have him, if he did feel some type of way, at least they were gonna be able to like put that behind him at the baby shower, and he gets that positivity back and not have to worry about it. But at least he knows. So yeah, I thought that was a good move on Ralph Angel's part.
Yeah, I think it was definitely smarter to tell him before as opposed to after what Darla was trying to put off. But speaking of little boys, Gabe is still interacting or text messaging with Hollywood. And I think there was kind of a little bit of a thread throughout the show about her maybe kind of feeling some kind of way about her not having her own biological children. Because at first she was a little taken aback by the fact that, Hollywood is still talking to Gabe. But I think overall, she still handled it well. And she didn't, try to, throw a fit about it. She was pretty gracious. Ashley, what was your reaction on Vi's reaction to Hollywood still being in contact with Gabe?
She definitely gave off a little bit of bothered vibes, but I do like the fact that she didn't make a fuss out of it. Like she didn't nag him. She didn't ask more questions. She really just took it for what he said and let it be. But the conversation she had with Darla and Charlie and how they brought it up and was like, oh, well, you don't have to necessarily be a mother. That happens all the time, especially like being at a certain age and not having children. It really isn't you feeling some type of way until someone else assumes you're feeling some type of way based on the conversation and they comment on it. So like, for example, with that situation, Vi probably wasn't even thinking about it. I mean, of course
she did give a look though. Like,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, let's say it wasn't on Vi. Let's say it was just
anybody else.
Woman. Yeah, in general, right? She could have been just not even thinking about it until Darla was like, oh, well, we want to include you too. We don't want to make you feel bad. We want to make sure you feeling. And it's like, no, some women really aren't thinking about it. So with that, I really liked that they showed the different aspects of it. being an older woman and not having children,
Mhm.
and how the conversations around you can change your feelings in that moment. Like, she felt some way about Hollywood, but she may not have thought about it before until this boy is now in Hollywood's life and she sees it. I
Yeah.
think that was the big difference. So yeah, I like the way she handled it, because if she would have went off, it would have definitely you could tell she's having some regrets if she would have went off.
Yeah, I definitely feel like she ultimately. I mean, y'all give Envy a harder time than I do. I think that I think that Envy is ultimately, she wants what's best for people. Sometimes she's not accurate on what's best for them, but I think she ultimately wants what's best for Gabe and everybody else that's around her. And so I think it tracks that she kind of brought herself back in that moment to be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I might feel some kind of way, but it's for the best because, Gabe is a good kid. A couple comments. Shakira says, I love Blue too. I miss seeing him. On Cookie says, she kept thinking about Hollywood wanting a kid. Brooklyn 409 says, I was happy to see Blue again. Most kids on TV are so damn disrespectful. Blue has been a breath of fresh air. MD Turb says, was definitely missing Blue. He brings the family together. He definitely does. For his little young age, he brings everybody. He unites everybody. Season, what was your kind of reaction? Like, as Ashley said, I'm a new mom, and so I do have some perspectives and some understanding of things that I did not have previously. But I do still think that, like with Darla, when she kind of had that social cue, she kind of looked at Aunt Vi's expression and was like, oh, but it doesn't just have to be a mother. I mean, do you find yourself trying to be careful about kind of making comments that can alienate people? Or do you think, like, as Ashley put it, like maybe it's by qualifying things or making kind of certain statements, it's like that actually makes it worse?
I mean, I'm on both ends of the spectrum. I mean, how early do they start policing our uterus and looking for us to have children? So I'm Vi at her age. She's probably been dealing with comments or looks or insecurities for well over 30, 40 years. So it's not new to her. As one of your viewers mentioned, she's probably thinking about it more in terms of Hollywood and seeing him with Gabe. Right. But, it's not a new feeling for her. So, me personally, I do tend to be a little bit more aware, or I do kind of preface my statements with, oh, well, X, Y, and Z, but it's really not something that you can get around. Just, you have women with fertility issues. You have women who don't want no damn kids. You got women who didn't want the kids they have, so it's really just, I tend to be careful because of my fertility issues and because I know it may not be a choice. But I mean, other than that, if I do say something, then I will leave it to the person to say, hey, that's not cool. Or, it's because, again, it's not something that you, like, all of us, once you reach a certain age, we've all been dealing with criticisms and comments and just where your kids at, why you ain't got no babies and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not new for us.
I mean, Black women, right? Womanhood is policed on so many levels.
Right.
It doesn't make you deficient to not have kids, to not be a mother. It doesn't make you better than to have kids or be a mother. I mean, the way that kids enrich you as a person is an individual thing. It's not an identity thing. Like, oh, all women with kids are X, Y, and Z, or all women without kids. Like, I think that, I'm sensitive to that because I am older. I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm up there enough in age to where there could have been a situation where maybe I couldn't have kids or whatever the situation might be. And they, now, at our age, geriatric pregnancies, they make it seem like it's a fucking miracle. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like they give you so much anxiety. So I've always tried to be careful, at least in more recent years, of making sure I don't ever telegraph that being a mother makes you better than not being a mother, or being married makes you better than not being married, because it's really an individual circumstance. But Sue says, Shakira says, Aunt Vi did have a look when she saw Hollywood playing with Blue, like she may have regrets not being able to give Hollywood a child. Sue says Aunt Vi should bring up the possibility of adoption with Hollywood. That will make great parents. You know, it's funny because I think that maybe Aunt Vi has her own regrets about, like, she would like to have had kids, but I also get the sense that she's maybe projecting some anxiety about Hollywood not wanting to have kids, because Hollywood is like never ever given any indication that he missed out, you know, and having kids, you know. And I think a lot of older women, they do have that insecurity there when they're with the person who doesn't have kids. Like, are you going to feel like you missed out or whatever else? And I just think it's for the man to determine, like, you're enough, you know, without kids, or no, this isn't going to work. I need somebody to have kids. Ashley, what are your thoughts about it? I mean, do you think Aunt Vi is more so projecting about maybe what she thinks Hollywood might feel, or do you think she's having her own regrets about, you know, what she wants? Because it seems like she only has these thoughts when she's looking at Hollywood and his interactions with others.
I think it's a regret for her personal. I think once you get to a certain age and you don't have kids, you're pretty content with that life. You know, you're used to it at that point. I think her concern, to me, it came only when Hollywood, right? So I think hers is he gonna not love me as much? Does he love me enough for us to have kids? Am I enough for him still? You know, she also has this sickness that's creeping back up again. So it's like, is he gonna be thinking, I want kids, Vi is no longer enough. I love her, but I don't love her enough to just be only her. You know, I think those are her more so questions of, like, is he going to still love me even though I can't give him kids that he clearly is enjoying? You know, she had the opportunity of raising Blue. So it's not that she may not have been a biological mother and may have, you know, children of her own, but she did have a hand in raising children. So I think she may have gotten her, you know, her maternal, whatever she's feeling, out with that. But now it's like Hollywood never got that opportunity.
Well, you know, you have Vi, she's the matriarch of the family, right? And then Hollywood is the patriarch of the family. And so it's not through the traditional means of becoming a parent, but they are the matriarch and patriarch. And I think they really do an amazing job of that. And now with Darla and Ralph Angel coming to stay with them, if things don't work out with the farm, they'll get another crack at it. And you know, it's unless you just really want the experience of pushing something out, I think you'll get your hands full being in the house full time with a newborn. Okay. So yeah. But on another note, it was nice to see that Aunt Vi was relaxing, taking it easy. She definitely had the right energy throughout the episode of, like, I come in peace. So that's good. De-stressing her life is good. I think that her reconciliation with Ralph Angel really put her in a much better headspace. So things are good for Hollywood. Things are good for Aunt Vi. Things are good for Blue. We saw Billy back with her curly hair. They finally let her, because I feel like she's had ponytails this whole time. So they finally let her go ahead and curls out.
Cute.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
cute.
I love to see that her and Prosper are in such a good space. I really wish we would get a little bit more of her backstory outside of just the things that have gone on with the Borderlones, because she said things are complicated at home. Like, what, girl? What the hell going on? Like, I mean, is your husband leaving you? Like,
in Chicago, her husband cheating.
Caesar and I lived in Chicago for, what was it, 5 or 6 years. But I don't even get a sense of how old her kids are, because it seemed to me like Prosper said,
kids.
Yeah, she has kids. I think her kids might be grown though.
Okay.
Because I think Prosper mentioned, and MD Turb, somebody in the comments, how old do you guys think that her kids are? Because I feel like Prosper mentioned that they're older now, so you could stay here. So I don't know. Like it's just like just little low hanging fruit. They could have just given her a couple more lines so we can know what the hell's going on. But I don't know. Maybe if they have another season, we'll see more of her backstory. But I feel like that's the biggest deficiency with her plot is that we really have no idea what's going on with her. But her and Prosper really exemplify the spirit of redemption that this show does better than any other show. Seasoned, what is your reaction to just kind of the space they're in right now?
It's cute. They getting along really well, and he really wants her company and her presence, and I think it's cute.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
And it's funny, even with her and Prosper in such a good space, Ashley, she still had a little bit of anxiety about how she would be received by the Bordelons. She coming back. She had a little bit of anxiety about how she would be received by the Bordelons. And of course it was all good. Obviously the baby shower was not the place for her and Aunt Vi to have an exchange. And I guess with the baby shower, it's probably not going to happen. But I still think it's interesting how she came in like, fuck the Bordelons. I don't care about what you have to say. I'm Prosper's daughter. Y'all can kiss my ass. To now where we see her, everything's good with Prosper, but she still has that spot where she really does care about the Bordelons and how they feel about her. So Ashley, what was just your reaction to that?
I'm definitely glad that nothing popped off at the baby shower with she mind her manners, because they haven't had that conversation just yet. So I hope they do. I really need for, I want to say check on vibe, but check on vibe when it comes to that. Because she had a conversation early. She had a but she hasn't been in that public space with them yet. It's just been those conversations, so
Yeah.
I definitely can understand why she still be anxious because it's the first time. So now in this warm environment, it was filled with so much love, so much compassion, and just family. I think her action is gonna be gonna feel a lot more comfortable, and she might move back. That's why we haven't gotten her backstory, because she may be moving back.
Yeah, I think it seems like they're leaving something for the next season when it comes to Billy. With the Black Farmers Collective, Billy, she's a paralegal, but she's getting a lot of work done, a lot of research, and really helping out with the Black Farmers Collective. And so I think that they're opening up the door to where Billy could play a more prominent role, particularly kind of step into where maybe Charlie would have been the one who was like, I'm handling shit, now that could be Billy, and Charlie can kind of be off fixing her own things. So speaking of the Farmers Collective, I have to say, and MD Terp says, as many Black children are in foster care, they could definitely foster. I don't see them with no babies. Yeah, I think that they have their hands full, though, with this new baby. Like, all it takes is one baby for everybody to be like, woo, we got a whole nother kid going on, and we start from scratch.
In this house.
So I'm sure that whatever kind of situation that Aunt Vi got going on, she's gonna come back to reality with new baby Bordelon. So, I have to say though, Queen Sugar is doing a better job of messaging the Democratic policies than the damn Democratic Party, because the stuff they're saying about this farmers bill is even news to me. Like, Darla, turns out, came up with the idea of them forming a farmers co-op. And I didn't know, as much as I follow politics closely, that there's a provision. It was referred to as the Biden Booker, even though Senator Raphael Warnock, I do know this part, was the one who was really instrumental in addition to Booker, Cory Booker, but both of them are really instrumental in the Black farmers relief. But anyway, they have a provision apparently that allows for Black farmers the right to buy up farmland first. So that could be really helpful if something happens where, but with the Landrys or whatever. So I love that idea. But we have two kind of arcs going on. We have the potential Black farmers arc. Then we also have the plot with Nova and Dominic discovering that the bones, they were trying to just fuck with the Bordelons, and they might have actually ended up helping them, but the bones that were discovered on the land actually might be related to a massacre of Black farmers. So season, what is your reaction to just like, I mean, it just brings in so much historical things that have happened in our history, particularly as it relates to farmers, in just such a really smart way. So what was your reaction to number one, just the massacre part, but also we'll talk about Dominic and Nova. But let's start off with just the massacre part. MD Turb says, I learned a lot about the plight of Black farmers on this show. It made me do a lot of research. Yeah, absolutely. So Season, your reaction first.
I think both of these storylines are just dope. I'm happy that even if it doesn't result in the saving of the farm so that Ralph, Angel, and Darla can stay there or can stay in the family, I just think it's dope that, in the end, we may get some kind of like we're going to beat the Landrys and these Black farmers is going to grow and get even bigger and more prosperous. So I think it's a good twist. I didn't know that about the Black farmers either. And they should get first dibs if some land comes up for sale. So I hope both work out personally.
Yeah. And actually, a lot of a common theme throughout the series has been how Black farmers are just really trying to scrape by to survive. And so kind of this whole collective economics is really smart, because a lot of times Black farmers have kind of undermined themselves because they're just trying to get through what they got to get through as opposed to like pulling together. So what is your reaction to both of those plots?
I think it's so smart, and I think it's very smart on Queen Sugar's part to put this information out there, because what if I'm a farmer that really didn't know this? That's something that we're learning. So I do think that it's very it's very positive on their end for them to have this as a conversation. I love TV that takes me into a world that I wouldn't normally be in my own life. I would never know about farmers. Honestly, I would have no need to really research unless I really was interested in that. There's nothing that sparks that. So with Queen Sugar doing this, it's very responsible of them to put this information out and to make sure that the masses are kind of being aware of their resources. And what they're doing is really group economics, right? Like they're really just taking on their own buying power and doing it as a group. And I mean, honestly, I feel like Black communities are the one that still doesn't really get on that level. When you have
not enough.
You have the Arab community when it comes to these gas stations. They hire their own, and then once you get to a certain level, they get you one and you build, and they have group economics where they're buying up gas stations. You have the Asian community who's doing that with nail shops and beauty supply stores. So it's like for Black farmers to get together and to do this, and to, first of all, I love the fact that it came up from Darla. Like that.
Yeah, that was great.
Cherry on top that it was her idea, but I think it's very intelligent of them to go about this plan, because it can really bring generational wealth and change a lot when it comes to St. Joe, for real.
Yeah, and I think one of the great things about Queen Sugar is it really shows Black farmers as not like a historical issue. It's a contemporary issue, and it's a form of commerce. It's a form of, like you said, Ashley, generational wealth, and it's being stolen from Black farmers as well. Even just the whole plot, the whole entrapment plot with Ralph Angel. I don't know if he actually got any money from Landry, if he was just supposed to sign over the shit, because I'm sure that little envelope of money don't come near what the land is worth. But whatever. The moral of the story is that Black farmland is constantly being stolen from us, and so I think it's really important. Brooklyn 401 says the bones are going to lead to bad deeds by the Landrys, maybe like generations ago, because the bones, remember, are from the 1800s, the late 1800s. Shakira says the information that Dominic found was very interesting. It's a good possibility that the farm would be historic land. That was really key. It kind of tied into last week's episode with Dominic kind of talking about what he does. I love that, one thing about Nova, whoever her love interests are, they find a way to make themselves useful, because she done had a professor. She had somebody was helping her get on TV. Like her people pull their weight. Okay. when it comes to that. She
Yeah.
attracts some
They show
go
they
getters and
value
some
for
do
real.
gooders. Yeah, yeah. So Ashley, I'll start with you. What's your reaction just to Dominic and this budding romance? I see the shot.
Yeah. I love my man. I love my man. I love my man. Because Dominic is so fine. He's just, oh my God. When we say we want a black man, this is what we talking about, okay? If this was Lawrence, okay, we wouldn't have no issues with him because
I forgot who that nigga is.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, he just really, not only does he show his value, but like he is so willing and ready to help at the drop of a dime. And he's not asking for anything in return. He just genuinely wants to see her get what she wants, be happy, help his community, help his black people. Like, and he's super smart. I mean, he's just
he's
so
dreamy.
cute.
He's so dreamy.
Oh my God, he's dreamy. Yes. I love me some Dominic. I'm here for it. Thank you, Queen Sugar. You always bring it when it comes to the black men. You did that with Hollywood. He ain't as fine, but Hollywood is definitely a good black dude. Ralph Angel, you know, he's fine as hell. He cry a little bit too much and make stupid decisions.
And
but
he
is
still.
something good to look at. And he still. But yeah, I think Dominic was a great addition to this cat. What's his real name? What's his Instagram name?
That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. If anybody
in the comments, come on.
Somebody in the comments, let Ashley know. We got to find out if he's single and ready to mingle with Ashley.
You know, you can't look up these new black male stars too close.
I know, because they'd be busting your whole bubble. Yeah, just keep the fantasy on the TV channel. Just keep
on Tuesday.
If I see you got a white girl, I'm gonna think different, y'all.
You're gonna be on his head next week.
Fuck that. I hope they don't
that nigga. He ain't shit.
Well, season. Are you team Dominic and Nova hook it up? Because I know you've been on Nova's head. It seems like
her head, yeah.
Ashley is firmly in the team Dominic. And if that means team Dominic and Nova, she's firmly there. What about you, season?
Yeah, I'm on their team. I think they make a really good team. I like that they taking it slow. I'm all set with them. That's cool. And she bringing him around the people, and he gonna jump right in. I like me a get in where you fit in type of dude. Yeah. I do not want to. McKinley Freeman.
Freeman.
That's a good name. That's a strong.
That's a good strong name.
He got him a black wife, y'all. We gonna just say that.
We gonna claim that.
We're gonna claim that he's married to a black woman. Whether he is or not, don't fact check
us. By us. For real, okay.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. Okay.
Yeah. Try and get him here, Reese.
Huh? You gotta invite him.
Yeah. I'm rolling Mark. Have him come over here.
MD Church says, I'm beginning to trust Dominic. I was skeptical at first. I've always been team. I'm the romantic on the panel. I've always been team Dominic, for the record. I'm always team Black Love. And I want everybody to be happy, including Nova. I think this is actually the most healthy relationship. It's like there's no catch to it. I appreciate his maturity level. Everybody goes goo goo gaga over Nova, so that's nothing new there. But I think that he's really approaching it in such a smart way that's really making her, like, at the end of the day, when they get together, it's going to be a mutual thing. It's not an imbalance. And a lot of times, Nova's relationships have a little bit of an imbalance because they're so entranced with her and she kind of gets bored easily. So I think this is really great. And it's you looked him up.
I don't want to know. Shorty versus Cat. Shorty versus Cat. I don't want to know. I want to stay not knowing and knowing at the same time. I don't want to know. I'm gonna be so sad. I'm not trying to cry on live. Oh, he got a white girl. Tell me. Okay, tell me. I'm ready.
She white.
Oh, McKinley.
Next subject.
Oh,
That's why I said don't look it up. That's why I said don't look it up.
I'm gonna
Chat.
just send it to the group chat real quick. Okay.
I mean, she
Okay.
white. They be hiking and shit.
Dang. He needed Jay Ellis's PR. Like,
Yeah, man.
just archive some of them photos.
Sarah.
For
Sarah
another-
Alice.
Sarah
Oh,
Alice.
she got two names. She white. Oh man, come on. She
Yikes.
probably a nice person.
Yikes.
McKinley.
Wow.
Oh.
Anyway,
Put us on
I'm
Twitter. We
sorry.
gonna be on Twitter, y'all.
Yikes.
MD Term says, "Oh, she sure is. She's white, not even some Latina."
Not even know like his home
Is she
girl.
white passing? See if she white passing. She
Just
not.
a white girl. She don't even have. She just the mousy white girl with the brown hair.
She looked like somebody that Robert Griffin III, RG3, would have wiped up.
Yikes. He did that.
Oh, dang.
Well, let's just say that he's cosplaying very well as a Black Love actor. So kudos to him for really selling this chemistry and this relationship.
This nigga need an Emmy for his performance because
He
I
showed
would
good.
not believe he had a black wife.
Yikes.
Oh,
what were we
damn.
talking about? Wow.
Man, skip
We were
that
not
subject.
talking about how fabulous McKinley Freeman is. We were talking about how wonderful Dominic, the fictional character on
Yeah.
Queen Sugar, is.
Damn,
Yikes.
that was disappointing.
Why did I do that? You know, I be wanting to know.
I'm so mad at you for doing that. I'm so
I'm
mad
sorry.
at you for doing
Yeah,
that.
but I'm glad it came
Oh,
out.
she's
We now know.
for Beyonce, so that's a mitigating factor. She might
No, she's still white.
That
she
don't say
might
that.
have Black Lives Matter in her her bio. She might have done a black square on that one Tuesday. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Okay.
Moving on. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Yikes.
They can keep him out for the rest of the season.
So let's finish it up. Let's talk about our last subject, which is Micah.
Oh my God.
Now, first, I have to say that I hate to be one of those people now, like as a mother or this any other, because that's so annoying when people become that person. But I can't help but think like I just loved Charlie and Micah's scene and how she said she's so tender with him. Like, you know, so much of this series, she's been like all about the business and Michael, you're going to Harvard and you're not going to turn out like these, you know, ragamuffins. And like now I feel like she's really recognized him coming to his own as a man. And I just love when she said, "Oh, you're everything I could have dreamed of." And he obviously really needed that. That was so touching to me. Oh, we haven't talked about Darla, so we'll come back to Darla. But yeah, Season, what was your reaction to that part?
I mean, I feel her. I say that to my baby all the time, and he only 3, so when he grow up, please don't beat on bitches and go to jail and steal and stuff. Stay good. Stay a little angel, you know? But he's so sweet. So I know I'm going to be that mom who's going to stare up into my child's eyes and tell them, you know, you were the apple of my eyes. And then, you know, and then get that mama hug and know something wrong. But, you know, be cool if they don't want to really talk about it. You know, I know that's going to be me. That's going to be me all day.
Now, Ashley, I know you're a mama's girl. So how does that mama hug that just tells you like you're on the right track? How did that scene hit you?
Hugging your mama, it's nothing like having a really good, like I just need a hug from my mama. It's like a chocolate chip cookie. When, you know, sometimes you just crave it because it's a hug. So when I saw, what really made me love or fall in love with the scene was her saying, "You are everything I dreamed you would be." And
that's what hit me.
I almost called and cursed my mama out. You ain't never said that to me.
I'm sure she has said.
She's always said something along those lines.
I mean, maybe, but yikes, that was so gorgeous when she said, because I mean, that's really something you want to make your mom proud, right? Like our parents get on our last nerves. They're super annoying sometimes, not as bad as Blue, but they annoying too. You
Or
know?
I'm fine.
Or I'm fucking fine.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus. But it's like to know that you have accomplished something and your mom is proud of you, like that's a really good feeling. So I love that scene. Of course, she's a mama. She know when something wrong with her child. You know your
Mhm.
We
child,
know, and you know.
And I wish he would have I like that he opened up to Nova instead of opening up for
Oh,
Charlie.
that was
I
Yeah,
amazing. That
I
was great.
I
yeah.
think that, nobody makes you feel like your mom, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's a mom superpower. But still, like when you're really unsure, sometimes moms don't always have the answers for
And
it.
especially if
Okay.
they don't get
Mm-mm.
it, if they're not living that life, or if they don't do what you're having anxiety about, or if they're not
Yeah.
that person, they can't really, they can give you general I love you, you're great, and all of
Hmm.
that. But to speak to somebody that is in, I mean, she's bisexual, right? Nova is.
Yes. Yes.
So having someone that is in that community had to go through the questions like you're going through right now. Am I? What am I? What do I like? That really was, I like that he went to her. I think she handled
Yeah.
it perfectly.
MD Terp, I'm curious to see what your reaction to that scene was. Season, what was your reaction? There were so many great things that I wrote down from that. Unfortunately, my doggone writing is too small here.
You can't read your
Micah,
own writing right now?
huh?
You
What's
can't read
that
your own
women?
writing right now?
No. I mean, I have it typed, but it's small font.
Oh,
So, like,
I'm
I'm not
like,
finna.
damn.
My writing is terrible. I would not even bother writing something. But Micah said, regarding his relationship with Isaiah, that there's an intimacy of emotion. And it's not a sexual thing, it's not a physical thing. He just wants to be around him all the time. He wants to be connected all the time. And I loved that, and well, I'll get to what Nova says, what I loved about that. But it made him wonder if he is gay, fluid, and what that means. And I think that makes sense because that's what we've been wondering from watching the show. Like, well, what does this mean? Are they trying to tell us something? Is this just a strong friendship? And it's still open ended through their discussion, and it's obviously not tied up before the end of the episode. What was your reaction to that discussion with Nova?
Well, I really truly connected to that scene because I know what it's like to go off to college and just have these ideas that other people have pushed on you, society pushes on you, you know, one in college, the guys I went to school and get turned out, you gonna turn into a hoe, this and that. I remember having a family member tell me that I was gonna be a hoe and this and that. So it's just like I especially went into college thinking I'm gonna prove these people wrong and not have sex and be a good girl and only do this and only do that. And I probably missed out on the best time of my life because guess what? You ain't gonna never see half of these motherfuckers again. You better live your life and explore and discover who the fuck you are, because who's walking through class, who's walking through these halls with you, they don't matter. They don't mean anything. They trying to figure their own shit out. So, if you're in college or you're a certain age, you need to be figuring yourself out. And like Nova said, let your feelings lead you. Don't try and control your feelings because there's so much more to life and just discovering who you are than other people's opinions. Don't make it to 30 and 40 and realizing like, damn, what people think of me really doesn't matter. And I could have been happy doing this, that, and the third a long time ago. Don't be like me wishing you was a hoe in college, because I had to watch all my friends have all the damn fun.
Speaking of hoes, MD Term says, I was a hoe in college and I regret none of it. Learned about myself and what hell I expected.
That is my biggest regret is I did not have fun in college. I really didn't, because I was too focused on what other people said. I did not want to be that girl. And it's sad. Like, I just had a younger cousin tell me the other day that she thinks this certain celebrity is a whore because she's had different boyfriends. And I'm like, girl, you are too young. You in this generation and you think having multiple boyfriends over the course, so it's sad. So I just loved everything about that scene. Nova was on point.
Yes,
and it would be the same advice I would give my children or someone who came to me about it. Like, do you, okay, and figure it out.
And I liked what Nova said. It doesn't have to be distressing. It's like a discovery. And I think that's what college is about. That's what adulthood is about. You're always kind of still discovering new things about yourself. And with each chapter you move into, maybe you go to a new state or you start a new job. It's a constant discovery process. And I love what she said. The story of you is new each day. I love that. Ashley, what was one of the nuggets that really stood out to you from that conversation that resonated with you?
When he was saying, am I gay? Am I fluid? What am I? And I don't know verbatim what she said, but she was just saying, it doesn't matter.
You don't have to define yourself right now forever. You don't have to define yourself.
That's it. You don't right now, like you don't have to do that. And I think we get so stuck with labels, and honestly, Black men, and I'm just gonna say Black men, they're not allowed to discuss, especially when it comes to sexuality. Kisses another man or does anything with another man, he's gay. There's nothing else to it. He's there. He can possibly be bisexual, but if you do that, you're gay. You love me and you want to have sex with me. It's like, if a woman kisses another woman, that's not what's said about her. She's allowed to go out and explore her sexuality and figure out what works for her. But with men, they really are put in that box. And for college, that's your time. It was a study done at the speaker basically said college is where you go and you will meet most eligible people for you to date. They're in college, they're on the road, they're trying to advance themselves, they're moving forward with their lives. This is the biggest pool of whatever gender you're into at one time. This is when you go and explore, and white girls are told that. They're told to go to college, get your degree, but while you out there, look for your husband too. Black girls are told, you go to college, you don't worry about me, and if you do worry about me, you're gonna be a hoe in college. You have to focus on studying, get your education. And we're taught so differently. And with Micah, I love that Nova made it very clear that this is your time to do whatever it is you want to live your best life. Don't if this man and I love that his conversation was not sex, it was intimacy, and intimacy. I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Let's see. MD Terp says it was such an important scene because Micah needed acceptance and understanding, and we need to see that acceptance in our community. I love that let your feelings lead you comment. What's interesting to me though is I wonder if part of it is making a statement about the fact that there isn't, I'm not going to try to define what makes a person any particular label because that's not my place to do that. But I wonder, like, the fact that it was about an emotional connection, if, like, because of that emotional connection, he's associating it with being potentially gay or fluid, even though it's not a physical thing. Like, does that say something about the way that we allow men to interact with each other, that has to be kind of like, well, this must be what it means, because men, like, I feel like women, we have emotionally intimate relationships with each other. We tell each other everything about everything that we're going with. And it doesn't make us say like, oh, are we gay? Because, we want to, oh, what you doing after work? Or what you doing? Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what he described is a relatively typical relationship that women have with each other. Not all women, and you don't have with all of your female friends, but the way they hang out, the interactions that we've seen is kind of like par for the course for like a close female relationship. But when it comes to men, it's like, well, what does this mean? So I wonder if that is kind of what the statement is, or if it's really like what we've been seeing Micah discovering a new part of himself. I'm curious, MD Terp, what you think about that. But while he responds to that, maybe if you get a chance to type it up. I will say, I think Nova and Micah have always had a beautiful connection, a beautiful communication. I mean, remember, Nova was the one that tied her jacket around Micah when he, urinated on himself from his trauma from the police officer. And so they've always had this really strong connection, one of really like non-judgment and acceptance. And I love that she has that space and it's not a threat to Charlie, because Charlie did used to feel some kind of way about it. So I think that space they have with each other is so good and so important. And we'll see where it goes with Micah. So, but the last thing we haven't talked about enough, which is crazy because we're in pink for Darla and her baby shower, and we haven't talked enough about Darla. So before we close it out, I do want to talk about Darla's big moment. I'm glad she had her moment. She had her monologue. There's a part of me that was like, damn, her moment was all about everybody else. But it really does show just how far she's come, through kind of anyway, before I get to that, MD Terp says it's those traditional societal norms that come into play, which is why a woman can walk arm in arm and people not being lesbians, but two guys doing it will automatically assumed to be gay. Yeah. I just wonder how much of this is, true, like, hey, I think I might actually be gay versus like people are looking at me a certain way. Does that mean that I'm gay? But I guess we'll see. We'll see what that means. Or maybe we won't. Maybe it'll just be kind of left in the air. But with Darla, through her kind of tribute to everybody else, it kind of was a rundown of all the stuff that Darla has been through. But I thought it was just a beautiful way for her to express herself. And I feel like more than anybody else on the show, she has gone through hell and back, and she's very transparent about it. Like, for instance, with Ralph Angel, there's still a little bit of shame there. Like, I'm Ralph Angel from prison too. Like, remember when she made the comment about, the guy from jail, and she's like, well, I'm that guy. And I feel like he still is trying to like kind of shed that, as opposed to Darla, who's really like much more like kind of like embrace that she's been through these things, but that's not who she is, and she's moved beyond that. So I thought it was a beautiful tribute how she went down the line, and she's really a triumphant story. It's not perfect, they're losing the farm potentially. It's not like it's a fairy tale, but I think it's so important to show a woman that has the range of experiences that she's had, but still has come out kind of ahead. Season, what's your reaction? Hey, S. Carter, Season, what's your reaction to that?
That's Jay-Z.
Don't fact check that. Just go with it. Season.
Honestly, man, hearing Darla, I was like, dang, man, she really done hung in there. She done been to hell and back. And here go Ralph Angel ass stealing shit. She can't even relax. But she has, I mean, at the end of the day, that girl, she do kind of got a little fairy tale on her hands, so I'm proud of her. I think she's probably one of the sweetest characters ever on television. And it was cute, and it's just so on brand for her to take a moment to just individually thank everybody in her teary, wispy little voice, and she's just cute. I wish I was that nice, right? Especially right now.
Yeah, she's really a uniter. She's a rock. She's another rock of the family. She's cool-headed, and she knows herself, and she's like come to love the person that she is, and I absolutely love that for her. Ashley, what was your reaction to it?
I think it was beautiful. That baby shower was gorgeous. It was so simple. They didn't have too many decorations. They let the room really speak for itself. Like, I think Charlie did a great job decorating that. Well, the production crew, whatever.
Yeah, but on the show, Charlie did it.
And for Darla, her speech was just so gracious. It had so much like gratitude in it. And the fact that she eloquently was able to thank people, and they were just different ways. I mean, the writers for this show, I need to know who are the writers and what show they're doing next, because they know what they're doing when it comes to like monologues and
Yeah.
speeches. Darla's was top notch. It was just
Cute.
the way she held her her belly. She was standing there. She looked like she wanted to cry, but she didn't. I mean, it was
Mhm.
like a silent power that
Bianca
she was
Lawson
speaking.
was she's a hell of an
She
actress.
did that.
She's so underrated.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on, okay? Like, she is Bianca for real. She's not Beyonce's sister. Like, she is definitely one on her own. And
Mhm.
I mean, gorgeous. I love her. I love
Mhm.
her. I think she's doing a phenomenal job by bringing this character to life. And when the show is over, she's gonna be like the first character I'm sad about, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. MD Terp says Darla been through it. Her arc has been amazing from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah.
And I think I've said it so many times. This show is really about the power of redemption. And it's our own little fairy tales, right? I mean, some of us, like, we grow up and we dream of certain things. And when we see them happen, that's our fairy tale. That's our victory. And, I love that for her. I absolutely love that for her. Even with the kind of upheaval that she's experiencing with the farm and this and the other, she still is very much grounded and grateful for her experiences and really focused on this life that she's getting ready to bring in. And so I love that. I just love everything about her character. And it truly takes a village. And I think that that's one of the most beautiful parts about Queen Sugar is just the community and the family aspect of it. We don't see a lot of real Black family dramas that, I mean, can y'all think of one? Like, not a sitcom. I'm talking about a drama where it's a Black family that has as much love. And there's,
Oh.
Well, Greenleaf is over, but Greenleaf had a lot of negativity. I mean, this one, it does have its drama, but the common theme is always, even if one person is on the outs, everybody else is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's never just the whole family is at war. So, but I just love it. Shakira says it was beautiful when Darla gave those tributes. Vi really helped Darla when she was having her drug problem. The shower was gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, everybody has really been there for Darla, and she appreciates it, and everybody's happy for her. And you know, I love a person who's grateful. You know, that's my number one pet peeve.
Help you even more.
That's it. When you ungrateful, you show me ungrateful, and you don't ever ask me for shit ever.
Girl, we earned that so damn honest. Growing up, that's all my mama would talk. Oh, ungrateful ass motherfucker.
Yeah, you show me some ungrateful shit. I'm like, X, bye. Don't ask me for fucking squirt piss if you on fire. I ain't got shit for you.
Yeah. I mean, Darla deserves them fighting over trying to get her in their house. You know, like she is. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
And Darla has been wronged by people as well, but that wasn't her emphasis whatsoever. Her emphasis was all positive, and I just love that they've all moved past it. Let me go back to one comment. Cookie said, "I felt bad for Micah, then thought I knew that he was going to work." I guess, yeah. Let me see what is this? Micah and them. I thought I knew they was going to work. I'm not sure what you're.
She's talking about Isaiah and Micah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I think that maybe we'll see kind of what happens in the next episode with that.
Is the next one the finale?
The next one is the season finale. Didn't say series. They haven't been renewed yet, but we'll see. But the last thing I want to say, I forgot to go back to my takeaway from the Nova and Micah conversation. And it's kind of what you said, Season, the whole people try to define us and put us in the box. And, you know, really, that is the whole reason why I created this space of Black woman views. And I said that after we ended the live on Sunday, and I realized, I mean, I totally flipped out on one person. And because what really pissed me off is, like, you know, this is a space for people who think like us, and we don't all have the same views on everything, but it's a safe space. It's a place where we don't have to accommodate, you know, people who are like, oh, y'all Black woman, Black woman here. Fuck off. This ain't the space for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I really wanted to create a space where we could have the range of talking about Greenleaf and Queen Sugar and Insecure, Love and Hip Hop if we wanted to, or Real Housewives of Potomac, like, or fucking politics, you know. You know, we are always defined, and they're always telling you, well, you're not smart if you do this, or if you're not smart if you curse, or you're not good if you do this. And there's always so many boxes where they try to like, put you on a scale of like how worthy you are, and I'm like, fuck all that. Like, I'm not doing that. That's not what this space is. Like, even if you don't agree with me on everything, this space is for you to be you as a Black woman and own that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I feel about it. So that really resonated with me because I really created this space to just rebel and reject any notion that I have to kowtow to anybody, because they always think Black women are the ones that are supposed to bow down and be, accommodating to what people feel like we should be, or that we have to prove ourselves, prove that we're smart, prove that we're not a hoe. Even if you are a hoe, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's always somebody trying to make us.
Who cares?
Exactly. Right. And so that's what I just wanted this space to be. So we're going to talk about the previews, but thank you to everybody, y'all ladies, for being here with me every week. Next week is our last week with this show. We're still doing Insecure, but thank you to everybody who supports this platform, because I think that people supporting my platform shows that there is space for a Black woman to be unapologetically like bold and like not giving a fuck about who doesn't like it, and just saying how I want to say it, exactly how I want to say it, and telling people who don't like it to fuck off. And then people are like, yeah, woohoo. Like, they're like, yeah, we need that. Because I don't know how many more spaces. I'm not going to say there aren't any other ones, but I don't know how many more spaces there are for people that are like us, So thank y'all for supporting it. But the last thing, the previews, and Shakira, thank you so much. She says, I agree, Reese, your platform is important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's not just for me, it's for all of us. But because all people tell me like, oh, I feel empowered just by the way that you communicated, blah, blah, blah. Not about me though. So the previews look like it's going to be a fight for the farm. And
we haven't seen Charlie's sister yet.
Oh, you're talking about Parker?
Yeah, we haven't seen her. She was in the previews, right?
She's in the previews for the season finale.
I've been waiting for her.
So Battle of the Bobs is
Battle of the light skins.
There's no light skin meeting of the minds here this time.
No, they're gonna be tussling.
It's gonna be a shootout. Bang bang. No, not literally shootout, but shootout. Watch The Harder They Fall, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet. It's amazing.
Okay, go ahead.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I'm trying to wait to get some time with Andrew. I don't want to watch it without him. So
girl,
I watched it like 2.5 times already. So like,
really?
I could literally go downstairs and watch it right now. Like that. I mean, it's great for me. Yeah. I love it.
It's really.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if he'll watch it tonight.
As Stagecoach Mary, like she should definitely be looking like what Stagecoach Mary looks like.
Yeah, I heard about that controversy.
That's the only issue. Other than that, it still gets a 10 out of 10 though, because it was great.
Yeah, I will say the stage. I'll say Zazie.
Yeah, I love her.
She was kind of the weakest link in that movie. I mean, she was, but that's not saying that she was bad, because everybody was stellar, and then she was just like, yeah, she was good, she was fine, but like
going up against Regina.
There's no contest there.
I'm finna watch it.
Yeah, no, like she was fine. I don't know if she was worth the controversy about like going the whole like Light Bright route over when you could have picked another actress, because I don't think like Journey, like I fucking dare anybody to ever tell me that Journey should not be in that role because she's too light skinned. Like fuck off. Journey kills everything.
That he should have picked the girl who plays Journey's sister, and
she would have worked. Yeah. What's her name? I forget how to pronounce her name. Yes,
her sister would have been a good Stagecoach Mary.
Yeah, she would have been great.
That white woman skin off her. Oh yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Let's just focus on this and close this out. But yeah. No, I don't. But like I said, she would have been better than Zazie, and I like Zazie in it. But she was like, she just wasn't at the level. Like everybody else was like in the like through the roof, and then she was like, she was like,
yeah,
eye level. Zazie. But anyway,
so the light skins is fighting next week.
The light skins is fighting. Light skin battle shootout. So, and I love Amira Van. I love Amira Van. And I love Charlie. I'm always team Charlie though. But and Donlyn Gardner. And shout out to her. I mean, you know, not to get heavy, but you know, Dawn posted maybe earlier this year or maybe late last year, she actually experienced a miscarriage while she was taping Queen Sugar. The last season, not this season, but the last season one. Okay. Yeah, where they yeah. So anyway,
who was
so Dawn, she plays Charlie.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can only imagine how hard that must have been to just like film this scene and even just probably this whole plot with Darla's character, but she's just been a superstar of this whole season. So yeah, she's another person who definitely deserves credit for just the way that she's handled these plots, you know, given what she's experienced. But next week we're gonna see probably Charlie do what she always does. Go hard. And I'm so glad that next week is going to be about saving the farm because I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. It just fell flat. I couldn't believe how easily the Landrys won the farm. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like there's always been this battle royale and it was just like, here you go, silver platter. So I'm glad to see they're pulling out all the stops next week. It's going to be the season finale. We've had our great fun celebratory episode. I think regardless of what happens with the farm, everybody is going to be in a good space, but I want to see them save that farm. So we're going to see what happens next week. Yeah.
It's going to be tough. If they lose that farm, I think they're setting us up for them to keep it though. It's too many moments of hope.
Yeah, it's too much. And like I said, it was too easy for the Landrys to get it that one time. Yeah. So I feel like, so this is like, okay, we've gone through the acceptance stage. Now we're in the fight stage. So I'm looking forward to it. See y'all back next week for this season. It's already the season finale.
I know. And you said they haven't renewed it yet? Okay.
They haven't renewed it yet.
Ava, I know you watching, girl.
Probably not an hour and 16
Get on the phone with your girl. Come on.
Get on that phone. Hit up your girl.
Yeah. Well, what other show are they gonna make? I mean, come on. It's not like there's just an abundance of black shows out there. I mean, for fuck's sake, you know.
Show like this.
But also, they've been doing the show for a long time. Sometimes actors want to move on. You know, people want to move on from stuff. Yeah, so we'll see, but because last season it was renewed very early in the season, and this time it hasn't been so much that the case. But it's been an amazing season. Next week is the season finale. Thank y'all for tuning in every week. We're gonna be back on Sunday, recapping Insecure, and then Tuesday for the season finale of Queen Sugar. All right, so y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.
Except for McKinley.